What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, Juneteenth is a good
Sir.
day. Juneteenth is a good day. It's Team No Sleep. I'm James Higgs. Don't worry about me, though. But that man right next to me, Montell Allen. How you doing, sir? How you doing? It's a
Man,
loaded question. Let me ask you. How you
you know
doing?
me, man. I'm blessed on my worst day.
Mm.
I'm blessed on my worst day, so I can never complain. Um, I just appreciate, man. Everything that's going around. I appreciate today, the celebration of Juneteenth.
Yes.
I appreciate, you, friends, family, everything that's going on. So I think people ought to take that acknowledgement. They need to thank the people and celebrate the people that surround you. Be thankful for.
Yes, sir. That's true. Listen, celebrate all day, every day. I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my corporate entity because we recognize Juneteenth, and today we focused on those types of things. So I didn't have to log in, give any presentations to anybody. You see, I'm unshaven. That's why. But hey, it was a good thing. It was a good thing.
Oh
Uh,
man, a shout out to all the diversity and inclusion managers for every company because I know they all trying their best to incorporate this into their companies and doing their best, man. So shout out to all of them. Very important to
yeah,
continue that and be able to honor events such as today.
yeah. No, I know my last company doesn't recognize, and they were busy today, but we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
about. I'm not gonna burn any more corporate bridges.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Uh, just in case. Just in case. See folks coming in. We see Mr. Roth in the building. Listen, that's a bad dude right there. He's been on the show talking crazy on sometime. But we love you, man. Appreciate you. Marvin Stark. Listen, hey, Montel, I don't know if you know this. Montel, Marvin is probably now the most fitted Team No Sleep community member supporter. He's got all the gear. He got all the gear. He and his daughter made a purchase not too long ago, and we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Marvin.
I'm gonna
Appreciate it, man.
send some more
Appreciate the
pictures. Oh,
support.
actually, I tagged you in one of the photos. I think just to let you see that he was driving cross country. You're not on
Okay.
social media. You're not on social media, so don't
Nah,
nobody
man,
know.
I get down with it, but you know me, I'm usually getting down there with the nonprofit stuff I do, and then all the stuff I'm getting in with the high school kids.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't be on it for my sake. Unfortunately,
Oh
I kind
my
of be on it
goodness,
for
you're not out
doing those
there,
other things. Yeah,
not out there
but but
scrolling.
but but Team No Sleep. I have an event coming up August 16th to 17th, which is like the biggest fundraiser in San Diego, biggest food fundraiser single weekend in San Diego, where I partner high school football and we raise canned goods for the homeless. So basically, it's admissions to these games. It's a canned good to get in. So we have 16 games coming from 16 different schools.
Hmm.
Every team must participate in it, plus all their fans. And we raise about close to a couple of tons of food to give to homeless, which feeds roughly about 600 or 700 families just for a weekend. So we're able to feed all the homeless. But this year we will have a Team No Sleep banner posted up there in the
Boy,
game as
listen,
well
I'll make
for
sure to
people to
send
be
you the
able
high
to
quality
acknowledge
logo.
it.
So you represent properly. I'll make
Absolutely,
sure.
man.
That's dope. That's what's up. That's
Absolutely.
what's up. Appreciate that. That's what we do. Seniors in the building, so we officially official. So thank you for being here, sir. He says, Dan, I did get your note about the HBCUs and the black athletes. We're gonna work that into a conversation, and that may be a show in and of itself. Appreciate you for and the support on that, man. That's
Yep.
still good there. And Lord, you ain't reached out to Dan. He didn't put you out on blast.
Oh man, Dan, I'm sorry about that, brother.
He didn't
I've
put
been
listen,
busy
he
with some
didn't put
other
it
stuff,
out there in
man.
these streets.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really busy with some other stuff, but I promise I'll get to you. I've been doing a lot of logistics trying to get this
You
the
just didn't you
so-called
didn't you
one
didn't
weekend
ghosted
game
Dan
thing
Ross.
together. Yeah.
Man.
I ain't ghosting. I ain't forgot
Golly.
about you, Dan. I promise you, bro.
We're gonna
I
pray for
promise you
you.
that.
We're gonna pray for you. Let's go and get into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm completely hooked on these women and this WNBA. So I'm watching. I'm watching that. So I was watching Washington and
Okay.
Indiana. So that was what my jam was. So of course I was watching that. Did they win? I don't know. Okay. Well, we need to give some respect, and we need to talk about some things that happened. We need to talk about the social impact topics. Willie Mays, the Say Hey kid. We lost another. Listen, I'm not even gonna say another legend, but we lost one of the main reasons, at least for me, being so tied to baseball, to the sport and the character around baseball. So we lost Willie Mays yesterday, at the age of 93. And to watch the stories for me, I'm just gonna chime in real quick. To watch the stories and to watch the announcements during games when it was made public of Willie Mays, and to hear the KNBR announcer say it with so much emotion, that just kind of proved to me how far-reaching the impact of Willie Mays was. Right. Not just in San Francisco, not just here in the Bay Area, but just baseball overall. He is the Jackie Robinson. He is the Willie Mays. He is the Hank Aaron. There's only those three. I've been sitting here thinking about this for the last few hours. There's really only those three that have had that kind of long-standing impact. And rest in peace to the Say Hey kid there, Mr. Willie Mays. Your thoughts on this, man?
I think that first of all, prayers to his family, his friends. This is a tough time. I know them. I pray for their strength, for them to have it. Willie Mays, and I'm not a baseball fan, but I know who Willie Mays is. I know what the impact he had. I was interested. I was watching Ken Griffey speak about Willie Mays yesterday, Ken Griffey Jr., and he was talking about how great of a man he was. Like, he would come into the locker room and he would just sit and speak and talk to players about how it was, the things he had to overcome, and not even talk about baseball. Not even talk about baseball. Talk about life and the things he had to endure, during those racial times to play baseball, and how to be accepted, and the hotels he couldn't go into. I mean, all the things that we hear about, he would talk to them about it, how he had to endure those things, and how he would share just, his thoughts about things going on and how proud he was about how the game was going. And he said, Ken Griffey was like, man, he's probably one of the most impactful players ever. And he mentioned the three, like you just said, Robinson, Mays, and man, he was very, 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 very passionate and very emotional about the speech. And I was like, this dude, not for me being a fan, it's easy to have an impact on, right? Because I'm a fan. It's hard when you have your peers, especially your young, great peers, that he had that much of an impact on as well. And not to mention, he probably had the greatest defensive play in baseball ever in history with that catch over his shoulder.
That catch right there. Come on. And so a lot of the kids growing up playing baseball, and I'll liken this to you probably as well. You playing football. There was a lot of times probably you lined up behind center out there playing flag or something, and you said, I'm gonna make this play. I'm gonna scramble. I'm gonna make this pass. A lot of folks, so I played first, I played pitcher, and I played center field. Those were the three positions that I played as I was growing up. I always dreamed that I was going to make this play. I tried to make the play. I didn't make the play. But again, this was one of the plays that stood out in my head as I was playing Little League and going through school playing baseball. I said, I'm going to make this behind the back play. I'm going to do the fall down too as I'm making it. So I completely envisioned this entire play in my head. This is one of those impactful moments that, regardless of if you're a fan of the sport or not, this right here. This is one of those things that you know.
Well, this the one thing, and not to knock on Willie Mays, this the one thing, this the one thing that bugs me, man. Like, he should be celebrated in our history and entrenched in our history right now. Like, his roses should be given right now. I know they're going to give him all the baseball games, but he should be the top story of every sports center, sports things now, because this young generation doesn't know who he is. They don't know who he is, which to me, I'm not a big history guy. I won't pretend like I am, but I like to acknowledge people that made history, especially Black history.
Yeah.
And this is a gentleman that made Black history in the sport. It was a social impact as well. And to me, it's saddened that today's generation, or a lot of today's generation, doesn't know who he is, or doesn't pay the respect that they should. I'm talking outside of baseball. I think the baseball community's fine. I think they know who he is and they'll be perfect. I'm talking about outside of baseball communities. I would wish they would acknowledge it a lot more and be a little bit more passionate about his legacy and understanding. And I think that's something on us.
Yeah,
our generation to teach them. Our generation hasn't taught our younger generation enough to be able to be appreciative of someone with Willie Mays, what he went through and how he overcame it and how he was such a powerful figure. And that's shame on us.
Yes. Well, that's true. So, I mean, I would say tolerance, just understanding, just being able to still walk out there with your head high, still be able to play the game at the highest level, and deal with all the adversity, yet still be talked about to this day. And you're right.
Yeah,
Old cats know that. Old cats have that ingrained in them, in us, whatever the case may be. But we need some coaches. Maybe I'll step up, right? But we need some folks to go to these little league fields right now and actually talk about the mindset, the morals. You know, it's more than just hitting the ball. It's more than just catching the ball. It's more than just throwing it. It's again how you approach. Because you and I think, look at sports as life as well,
it is. It's not
right?
an approach. I
We're
think it
right.
is like
Yeah. See,
we
we look
we
at sports as there's really the value, almost as a core foundation of how we are and what makes us.
yes, it is. I mean, 100%. If and I'll even take it a step further. If it wasn't so for sports, I wouldn't be here. I don't even know if I'd be alive at this point, to be honest with you. Just growing up
Okay.
in the situation I'm in, my options would have been very limited if I didn't have sports. Without sports, there wouldn't have been no college. Without sports, I wouldn't have been able to learn the things I were able to learn. Without sports, I wouldn't have been able to go to the places I've been able to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that mentality within sports taught me the values of competition, family, teamwork, leadership, communication. All the things they tell you at your job that you should do. I learned all those at a young age, being involved in sports, being around sports. I learned how to get along with people that I don't like or I didn't get along with. We learned how to coexist because we're playing, because it's for the greater good of the team. And those
Yeah.
things last with me. Those are long-lasting attributes that I will have for the rest of my life because it was ingrained in me. And that's typically life. You have to learn how to overcome obstacles. You got to learn how to do things. You got to learn how to work as a team. I mean, that applies to not only job, it applies to marriage, it applies to family, it applies to everything
Yeah.
that we do. So,
What's funny about that? Let me bring this in, and we're gonna get to these other stories here in a little bit. Y'all chime in. We see. Hey, Mr. Stone, appreciate you for joining us as well. Think about this as well. Growing up as a kid, this is what we did. We played sports, but a lot of times we grew up with good families. We grew up with good role models around us, our extended family and our immediate family. We went to church. We had the pastor and all that. But again, you think about it. A lot of times, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, however much, I may not listen to my parents. I may not listen to the pastor. I may not listen to the principal and my teacher, but I'm gonna listen to my coach.
mm-hmm.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to my coach because he or she is far enough removed and has enough impact on something that I'm really trying to do, and it helps instill all those values that you just talked about.
Yep.
Right? Competition, responsibility, getting up in the morning and training and working out, learning to play, doing all those things that resonate and translate to, I'm not going to say how old I am, y'all know, but again, as we get older in life and more seasoned professional lives as well, really stems from knowing when you're supposed to make that break on the route, knowing when
You
you're
know what's
supposed to
funny,
put the
man?
shift on, right? Those kind of things. Come on.
You know what's funny? The first person I think that believed in me besides my mother, that really believed in me was my coach.
Hmm.
I remember I think it was my 5th or 6th grade coach playing basketball. He pulled me to the side one day, out of blue. He's like, "Hey man, what?" And I wasn't the best player on the team. I was not the best player on the basketball team. Matter of fact, I don't even think I started. We won the championship, but I didn't start. And he pulled me to the side. He's like, "Hey, what you want to be?" And I said, What are you talking about?" He was like, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "I want to be either basketball, football player, 5th grade, 6th grade, don't know, just kind of throwing whatever out there." And he said, "You have the ability to do it." And that always stuck with me. He goes, "You have the ability to do it. You have the ability to go to sports and go to college and go into the next level. You're that talented." Like, he believed in my talent, that I had the ability to do that. And I think that's what coaches provide a lot of young people, especially if they don't have a lot of role models. I grew up in a single family home, so I really didn't have a father figure around, except for my uncles and them. So he was he was a guy that was in my life, that was my coach, and he believed in me. So I always took that to heart. I always took that as a mental note. It's like, man, there's somebody to believe in me. So I think coaches are very influential and important in our life. Also, back when we played, our coaches would talk about history. Right? They
Yeah.
would tell us about the history of the game
Yep.
and talk about what's going on it wasn't talking about Madden. It was talking about everything else besides Madden. It was talking about, the history of the game, who the great players were, who were there, who influenced them, and so on and so on. So I think, like I said before we even started this conversation, I think it's up on us, our generation, to teach the younger generation the importance of somebody like Willie Mays. They really need to start to understand and dig deep in history. And this generation doesn't learn the same way, right? They don't learn like we did. We have to read a book, crack open the magazine to read about it. It's more of on the social media and these 2-minute videos. All you young people out there need to learn the history of Willie Mays, a very powerful baseball player that helped break down the color barrier lines in Major League Baseball. And he was very, very talented. And it wasn't always publicized in the newspaper or out there, but he was very influential in the current game of basketball, current game of baseball today, and on a lot of social impact, especially in the city of San Francisco.
I've been to that statue many times. And never took it for granted, but it's good to see him. I'm seeing like online posts of people going by and showing homage and showing respect. But you're right, man. We need to give these flowers to folks before they go too. A lot of these folks, but if there's a silver lining, it's the fact that I think more and more people are now starting to look at this. Right? Again, we lost Bill Walton, we lost Jerry West, we lost Willie Mays. So again, key figures that really shaped our understanding of tolerance, life, sports, all that stuff within such a short period of time frame. And that's just out front. I mean, that's just celebrities and entertainers, things that, we common folk, we regular day folk, we unfortunately are losing folks all the time as well. And I know, my mom just lost a good friend of hers a couple of days ago as well. So again, we need to be vigilant and just making sure that we, as we always say, reach out to folks, make sure that you stay connected, that kind of thing. So, all right, yes. I think we done gone into that one enough, but appreciate everyone for chiming in on that. Willie Mays, God, say hey. Why? I tell you what, I showed it, pretend I made that play. I showed it, man. And listen, yeah. And whenever Isaiah played baseball, he wore 42. He wore Jackie's number, so we represented. Let's talk about some more winners. Oh my goodness. What did we say? Well, not gonna worry about what I said, but what did we say? What? Because them Celtics got number 18, man. Yeah. Boston has number. Listen, first of all, okay. Before we go, have you been to Boston before?
I've been to Boston. Yes.
Boston loved them some sports.
Yes.
It don't matter what sport it is. And yeah, of course, you got the Patriots and they legacies and champions and everything. And yeah, you got your hockey and you got your baseball. But right now, the Boston Celtics got the most banners in their rafters than anybody else.
Yes.
Wow.
Huge.
Applause. Huge. I was going for the Mavericks. I was. I'm an underdog story see, it's two weird stories though, because this is a good story too. I'm sure you watched game.
Yeah, I watched it.
Game. Okay.
Yeah, I watched it, and shout out to Jaylen Brown, man, Cal graduate, man, got the MVP of the series. Man, I think we don't like Boston on the West Coast as much because we're Laker land and Laker territory. We West Coast, we're always them, but you gotta pay respect is due. Boston has set the tone for many years, and Lakers. Laker fans might hate me, but Boston set the blueprint for the Lakers on how to start winning and getting it the way they get it and get it in the multiple years, and then we led into the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird era, which we already know how that changed basketball. Period. And now Boston has continued to win. They won, Lakers was hot for a minute with Kobe and Shaq and all them, and Boston kind of snuck in there with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and those guys, and then they went flat, and now they got them another one with this dynamic duo of Tatum and Brown. And I'll be the first one to say it. I don't think they'll win it again next year. I just think the competition is going to be too thick, and they got to run into some salary cap issues, as all teams do. But I mean, it's good to see, man. It's good to see them on time. I mean, it's good to see them win. I think it was good. I think it was overdue for Jaylen Brown and Tatum to kind of get one because they've been there already a couple of times.
Yeah. Been so close.
I kind of felt bad for Kyrie. Yeah, the only one person I felt bad was Kyrie. But you know what? More than the win, man, I respected the way Kyrie handled it. He shook everybody.
That's what I want to get into. See, that's the story behind the story. Everyone else talking about the score and talking about this and that and the confetti drop. So that's what we'll wrap this around this as well. Come back.
Yeah.
Talk about, and I know everyone who's watching this is a sports fan as well and saw the end of the game. Talk about that moment that extended moment at the end of the game before when Kyrie checked out. So
Yes.
we'll start there and then talk about that other
Yeah.
piece, right? So when Kyrie checked out of the game, for folks who probably didn't really pay attention, before he went over to his bench, he
Yep.
went over to Boston's bench, shook hands, dabbed up coaches, players, even some fans, right? And Kyrie was getting it. Listen,
Yeah.
kind of deservingly though. Kyrie, listen, he stepped on Lucky back when he was with Brooklyn. He stepped,
Yeah.
right there in the center of the court, and you just don't do that, right? As an athlete, you just don't deface the other team's logo, especially in the middle of their court. Or in football, you don't go into a team's locker room and walk on the logo in the middle. There's some unwritten rules. Kyrie did break a rule, but talk about kind of what you see from that maturity piece of going over, talking to the other side, and then waiting till the very last Maverick walked off the court.
Yeah, I think, man, that showed a tremendous lot of restraint, maturity, and whatever else you want to describe it. I mean, like you said before, he had a bad series. He's playing bad in the series. In retrospect, it wasn't bad. He was only averaging, I think, 17 points a game. But usually Kyrie is a guy that's way up there as far as averaging points a game. So he didn't have that good of a series. So, and he was getting it from the media. He was getting it from the fans. He was getting it from everybody. He didn't let any of that bother him. He really didn't. He didn't let it bother him. So when he was about to check out the game, when they knew the game was over, he went over to their bench. He shook all the players' hands, all their coaches' hands. I think also some front office administrators, security people that he knew from there. He shook all their hands before he went out, and then he went to his bench, and they did their thing, giving everybody high fives. And then after the confetti dropped and everything was going and the celebrations going in Boston, man, he waited.
In Boston.
He made sure all of his players were accounted for before they left the field, all the players and coaches. And he dabbed every last one of them up before when they was leaving off the court. He made sure everybody was there. He didn't walk off pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't walk off bad. But I could also say, if you listen to some of his press conferences before, it's funny, man. He would be like, as great as this moment is, it's just a game. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's just part of the maturity, if it's his lack of competition, which I don't think that's it. I just think his perspective now playing basketball is a lot different than a lot of people, especially from a person his age. He's like, it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. And I'm not going to let this destroy me or do any of those things. I'm just going to make sure that, I play my best. I give my team a best chance to win. I want to win, but if we don't win it, it's not the end of the world. And as we get older, man, you can kind of respect that, right? You start to you put it more in perspective than when you were young, right? When you're 21, 22 years old, you're like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can. I don't care what's in my way. I'm going to do it. But as you get older, you start to realize what's going on. And granted, Kyrie has a lot of money, right? So his perspective can be a lot different than a lot of people. He has a lot of money, a lot of things he can go on and do. But I really thought it was pretty mature of him, man, just the way he handled it. Yeah. Very, very mature. And people don't have to agree with or disagree with it. I just thought that was just a mature move from a young man that's not the typical that we see right now. Because what we see now all of a sudden on social media? Coaches fighting coaches.
Yeah, man.
Players fighting. People spitting on each other. Fans coming down and fighting and all that stuff because of it.
In all sports. Yeah.
And he didn't handle it that way. So I think that's very mature of him, man. I really do. I think that's kudos to Kyrie. I'm sorry they lost, but that's kudos to him. But Boston Celtics, man, they put on the clinic. Got to salute them. Great basketball. I hate the season's over with, but hey, let them cats go ahead and do their thing.
Well, how you think Tatum versus Brown getting that MVP trophy?
I think it was Brown.
I think the right person got the trophy. But man, I sure would have loved to have a camera angle on Jason right at that moment.
Didn't he look like he thought he got slided? He thought he got slided, man.
Man, if I had a camera angle on Jason, right, and the MVP, the commissioner up there, and the MVP at the finals is, and he was probably ready to get up there and stun on him, but
yeah,
he didn't get it. I think rightfully so. I think the right person got the other piece of hardware,
and on that same speech, I love the way Brown said, I couldn't have did this on my ride without me and my boy Jason. He shouted Jay, I couldn't do it without Jason being here. But all honestly, the last 2 series, the best player on the floor has been Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
He has been. You know, and that's why he won the MVP of the Eastern Conference, and then he won the MVP of this series. I mean, he played it lights out, man. Dynamic, always attacking the basket. And the fact that he challenged Luka, he's like, I'm taking Luka. I'm taking him. The fact that
I don't think people understand how honestly good Luka Doncic is. Luka don't look. Luka looks like the Joker when he plays with very little effort, but high 80 to 90% of the shots are gonna go in, and they're not even circus shots, but his ability to hold and then make that late,
slow the game down, speed the game up, post up.
Folks don't realize y'all need to do your Google research and see how bad Luka is. He been doing this for a minute, right? And
Luka's undoubtedly one of the top players in the league. I mean, especially offensive wise. Yeah. I think what Jason Brown in Boston was able to expose is that we're gonna play you physical. You're gonna have to figure out how to get through this. Where we coming at you with 5-6 different ways, and then we got a dog that's gonna be on you the whole game. And Luka, unfortunately, every other team he played, they would play stretches, right? They were like, hey, Luka's not going to outscore us. And Luka would outscore him. This one, they were like, we're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Luka and make him try to make some plays, which he did sometimes. He made some pretty good plays sometimes. But bottom line, man, I mean, I think Luka was tired. I really do. I think he was physically worn out. By game 2, he was worn out.
Yeah, beat up, tired. And again, I'm going to put it right here what Dr. Stone is saying. He liked to moan and groan a lot too, right?
Yeah, he
reminds me of LBJ a little bit. He reminds me.
He's a foreign LeBron. He's a European LeBron. Absolutely.
Right. Always could play. Just go out there and play. Just go out there. You're not gonna get the call. Don't worry about the call. Don't let the ref run the game. Go out there and play. When you was out there in the playground, the fouls that were called when we was out there playing on the playground were much harder than the little ticky-tack foul you getting slapped in your head.
But pause on that. LeBron and Luka ain't never played in no playground. Since they was the age of probably 5 or 6, they've never played playground ball.
Oh my goodness.
LeBron
ain't never been to Rikers. Not Rikers. What did Kobe? Rutgers. Never been to Rutgers like Kobe did.
Yeah. No, they
ain't never been to Rikers. No, he never been to jail. I don't think.
Well, I mean, what Luka's been a pro since he's been 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
So he's never had to endure what we call street ball. He ain't never endured that. He's never had to. There's no need for that.
No, nothing about and one.
LeBron's been a pro prospect since the age of about 14 or 15. So he's been isolated from that. Not that he couldn't do it. We're not going to risk you going out there playing no pickup games with nobody. You got to play in AAU and all this stuff where we can control the environment.
Yeah, you go to your local Lifetime Fitness like Steph did a couple weeks ago. You go play with the.
Yeah, you can't do all that. So not to knock them, but I do believe this is the thing. I think I don't have a problem. I do have a problem with crying too much, but I do understand why Luka and them are doing it. They're trying to set the tone so people will call the call, so they can get the advantage on people. And when it's not called like that, the difference is that took Luka out of his game. Like you can complain all you want, but you can't let it take you out your game. There's other players that complain as well, but it doesn't take them out of their game. Yeah. We just happened to see it was on the main stage, and he was doing it. Jason Tatum was crying a lot too. I don't think people realize he was playing it every time Jason was going. He was doing this every time after he go to the hole like he was being fouled. But the difference is their team is winning, their team's losing. So they're saying Luka's crying too much. So that's just a tactic that he used. I think he needs to get better, just let the refs do their thing and go for it. And I think once they started to make it a story, guess what? Now the eyeballs on him even more so. The eyeballs even more so, and everybody started to make it a story. Man, they all complain about calls and all that stuff. I don't think that's nothing new. I just think when you're a superstar and you're losing like they were losing, and you start making calls, everybody say you're just crying about it. This is a part of the game now.
How about all that crying and doing? God, all that's good. So, all right, who you? It's too early, I know, but who you looking forward to getting back close to finals, maybe a championship next year? Seems like Dan Ross thinks Denver gonna get their next one, but I don't know.
Man, it depends on a couple of things. If the NBA realigns like they said they're going to do, like put Memphis in the East, I think it's going to be a whole different ball game now. If Memphis goes to the East, and they're talking about maybe possibly New Orleans going to the East, if those two teams go to the East, it's a whole different platform. Because New Orleans, if they would have been in the East, they would have been number 2. in record, where they were number 6 or number 5 in the West. So it becomes a whole different landscape of those teams move. But without them moving, let's talk about what it is right now. I don't see Boston repeating. I think just because Philly's going to be healthier. You know, Embiid got hurt. Giannis is going to be healthy for the playoffs again, which he causes Boston's fits every time he plays them. He'll be healthy as well. Dame Lillard will have another year under his belt playing under that system with Doc Rivers and them. I think they'll be a lot more competitive than where they go. And on the West, man, it's a toss-up.
Who knows what's going to happen over here? Yeah, who knows?
You can win 50 games in the West and be number 10 seed. That makes no sense. Like, you can win 50 games and matter of fact, you can win 50 games and possibly not be in the playoffs in the West. So the West is the Wild West. You got to get in first to make some noise. I'm a Warriors fan. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. I hope both of them make some moves to be able to get themselves there. It's going to be hard now that the salary cap stuff is starting to kick in. People getting older. I like Sacramento. Sacramento has to make some moves. They got to get some depth. If Monk wouldn't have been hurt, I think it would have been a different story for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, Monk's a good dude.
And in all honesty, and I talk about the Warriors, Draymond Green missed 21 games. If they'd won 500, if they'd just won 10 of those games, Golden State would have been in the 5th spot, which they would have won half of those games with him playing. Because they were the best team in the NBA with him playing. They were the best team in the NBA when he played.
I hate to admit that, but I'll just say
So
Dre might be out there kicking folks, games, man. You know, I can't get down there. Dre might be out there punching folks in the back of the head.
But you see where I'm coming from, though. That's how crazy the lead is. If Draymond doesn't get suspended for 21 games, we wouldn't even talk about the Warriors playing in the playing game. They'd have probably been in the 4th or 5th seed at that point. Because they would have just had to win half of the 21 games he missed. So to me, it's the West is crazy. It's just the crazy. You know how Phoenix is going to do? Are they going to be able to get themselves together? Are the Lakers being able to make a comeback with all the trades and stuff they're about to make with a new coach? Can Sacramento sustain and get themselves back on the right track? Is Denver going to be ready to go again?
Yeah.
You name it. Is Minnesota going to be ready again? Are they ready to make a run at it again? Would Dallas be the same as they were this year? I mean, dude, you got a whole bunch going on in the West.
Yeah, and you mentioned I forgot about the Lakers coach needing that because we just talked about them last week. Our boy Hurley turned them down, but Detroit needed a coach too.
Yeah, Monty Williams just got fired.
They owe Monty $65 million.
Yes.
Listen, hold on. We'll get into these other stories here, but I can't wrap my head around. You gonna fire this man? And before you call him up and tell him to come to the office because you're going to fire him, you know you still owe him $65 million. Yep. You got to pay him. You can't. There's no way getting around it. How you going to justify as a GM or as an owner?
Man, you can't justify it. They'll spread it over 10 years, which is $6.5 million a year. I believe, me personally, I think Monty Williams should be considered for the Lakers job. Honestly, I do, because before when he was at the New Orleans, he did a really great job. He was wrongfully terminated in Phoenix, I believe, because they were good when he was there.
Truth. He was putting them cats together for sure.
Yeah. Then he went on ahead and went up to Detroit, which is a dead man's land as of right now, as far as basketball coaches and stuff is concerned. Why would I consider him to be our coach, especially if LeBron gives in? Me personally, and I put it out there before, I think the Lakers should go after Jason Kidd as their coach. Why not offer him a boatload of money and buy his contract out in Dallas and say, come coach with us, come back to California, get us right? Because the one coach they got to bring in, LeBron has to respect that coach's IQ. He does. I think he's been like the smartest guy on the team, including the coach, I know disrespect to Darvin Ham, but including the coach. LeBron's had the highest basketball IQ on the floor. I think Jason Kidd has either exact or even higher IQ than LeBron. And I think that was someone he would respect to be there. So, and if the Lakers are going to throw all this money after somebody, why not throw it after a coach like him? He's just been to a championship. He's won a championship before. He's been to multiple ones with multiple teams, and he's a point guard, so he has an eye that LeBron would have. Why not make a run at him and bring him over and say, you know what, let's get you to leave Dallas.
So
I think that would be a great move.
Is Jason that quote unquote players coach that we talk about a lot of times that would have that respect? Because again, he knows the position, he knows the schemes, he knows all that, but does he have the acumen just to piggyback off of what Dan was saying, is he a good enough coach to coach the Los Angeles Lakers? I mean, because that comes with a whole bunch of something else. That's why Hurley didn't want the role.
Well,
He
man,
didn't want
you got to
all
think
the other stuff.
he just coached Luka and Kyrie, who's probably the most dynamic personality in the league, and he led them to a championship.
Okay.
So to say that he can't coach, I don't buy that. I think he can coach well. He was a great coach when he was at New Jersey, when he was coaching for that little bit of time. He was good there. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to work in LA. If you say Jason Kidd is not a good coach, then Tyronn Lue's not a good coach. And Tyronn Lue got a championship with LeBron.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that understands where the ball's supposed to be, where it's supposed to go, and how to create offense. And I think with Jason Kidd's offense, especially when he had Kyrie and Luka, he was able to create isolation plays for where Luka could go to work. And when Luka was in the game, it was for Kyrie to go to work, to do their thing. I think that would be perfect with the Lakers, especially now that they would have a scoring big man with Anthony Davis in there. I think he would be a great, great fit. Me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he would take it, though. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to deal with the dysfunction that's going on with the Lakers. But they should go after him and offer him a long-term deal to get it right. If not him, why not consider Monty Williams? Monty Williams is I think, is an awesome coach. I think he's. I mean, you're asking him to turn chicken salad in Detroit. You are. I mean, they only got Cam. Everything else has been a lot of young guys, and they're band-aiding the team together, and you're asking him to win all these games. It's very difficult. And what you're asking him to do. I think you give him with some pieces to the puzzle and let him do his thing. Plus, he would be dirt cheap right now for the Lakers and save them a lot of money. Why not offer Monty Williams a 2-year deal? Let's be honest. LeBron's riding out, man. He's got maybe 2 more years, and then that's gonna be it.
Yeah, he waiting for his son to come through. He waiting for Bronny.
He's gonna do Bronny's 1 year, his rookie year in, and he's gonna do 1 year after that, and then I think he's gonna call it because his son will be set at that point. His son will be in the league. He'll know he'll be okay with it. After that, I think he's gonna be ready for the retire, and I think LeBron will probably go into coaching at that point. Why not get yourself in a situation where you got an experienced Monty Williams, or you got someone that's just come off the championship, Jason Kidd, to come in there and coach?
That's interesting. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that just because it's early on. I don't think LeBron is ready to coach. I think he's ready to do the Brady thing and have some stake in it, and some ownership stake. Right, either a WNBA team or NBA team. I
he already said he wanted to buy the Las Vegas team, right? He wanted to be the owner of the franchise Las Vegas. If there's a franchise, he wants to own.
Right, that's where I can see this dude who. No disrespect to LeBron, because LeBron is LeBron, and listen, he is this generation's Kobe, Michael, all that. But he's more locked in on his branding and his business side, which is nothing wrong with that, right? He's set for his life. His wife is, their kids, their grandkids, their great-great-grandkids. So keep making that money, right?
Yep.
So I see him more trying to put a couple of those millions into some equity. But
I wouldn't be mad at that either. If he becomes the owner, I wouldn't be mad at that either. So. In Las Vegas, like he's already stated that publicly that he wants to own the Las Vegas organization.
Man, so you talking bad about Detroit, man. We got listen.
Oh man, you know what?
Chris listen. Chris know the keys to the back of the house here. He may come in.
I don't mean to talk bad about Detroit, but I just got to put the facts is facts, man. Detroit just hasn't did it in the last 10 years. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Detroit's biggest mistake is not hiring Chauncey Billups when they had a chance to hire Chauncey Billups as their coach. They should have hired him, kept somebody who was homegrown there, and won a lot of championships and understands the culture and be able to develop some players. I think that's one of the biggest snafus that they did, that they dropped the ball on. And it's unfortunate, man. That it is crazy, man. Detroit's such a great city, and now it's an up-and-coming sports city the way the Detroit Lions just made their run. The Tigers have been pretty good the last couple of years, I believe. I don't think they've been that bad. I think they got a pretty decent hockey team. It's now basketball, which used to be their staple, is dropped down as far as one of the sports cities or sports meccas. They need to get that back on track ASAP. And now on to coach $65 million doesn't get you back on there, because now you're more further in the hole. Now I know that's just counting against the salary cap, but man, that's a lot of money to be giving out, because you got to get that money out and then you got to try to play some players. So Detroit is not in a good place, man. They're not in a good space right now as a basketball organization.
My goodness. Hey, Chris, remember who was talking bad about the city, man? It wasn't me. But I'm the Wizard of Oz back here pulling cords and everything. But listen, shouts out. We got some royalty in the building. We got Shirley P here. Appreciate you for being here, sis. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Listen, you see the advocate. She again very love supporter of the community member, and she's rocking the advocate stuff. So appreciate you for that as well. All right, man. Let's go and get it. We got the Lions. That's it. Listen, y'all got them Detroit Lions, and we'll talk football as we get closer. We'll talk a little bit football as we get closer. But all right, so we get close to an event that you and I have talked about for a long time. We getting close to Paris.
Yes.
We've been talking about there's a whole lot of stuff right here about Paris. So one, I'm ecstatic that we about to get to these Olympics. 36 days and count. You see the ticker. 36 days and count.
Are you going?
No,
Are you going?
see, hold on. Well, don't put all my business out there in these streets, man. We
I'm just asking
live
questions.
everywhere. I'll let y'all know when I get there. After I'm already, I was
There you go.
there. Let's move on. Let's move on. Paris Olympics coming up. We talked about some of the sports that are happening. I'm this one right here, boy. I'm ready to see them boys out there breaking. I'm ready. I grew up with the cardboard and spinning a hole in my head because I was out there. I'm ready to see some of these cats out there doing they thing. I'm also ready to see basketball. I'm ready to see Luka out there represent his country, and I'm ready to see that. I'm ready to see the women's side out there, how they do all this commentary. I'm not going to say controversy. All this commentary of eliminating certain players off of the squad.
Hold on. Newsflash, though. Newsflash. Old girl from the Lakers, she tore her knee, right?
Well, yeah,
So she's
okay.
not
So yeah,
participating.
Cameron Brink. That's true. But so
So
Caitlin
Cameron
came.
Brink's not going. So I think that's going to open up the door for Caitlin to get a chance to play in the Olympics.
Cameron Brink, 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
She
but
plays
Caitlin plays a
center.
guard. You can play small ball. You can, as long as you can shoot, man. You good.
All right,
And Caitlin
hold
can
on.
shoot,
Let
and she
me
plays
put a
defense.
marker right here. So here's breaking news. I need some sound effects or whatever. You think Cameron Brink tore her ACL? Y'all see it going across the ticker as well. So she is not, obviously she's out for the season. WNBA, she's not going to play the Olympics. You think that the USA Basketball Association is going to call Caitlin Clark to come represent the country in her spot?
I say, why not? She's a marketing goddess right now. Why would you not put that out there for her to be able to participate in it and play on the international level?
Wow. It's just I got to find some. Had to find some sound effect or something right there, because if that happens, I think
if that happens, what's going? I'll tell you too. One thing, if that happens, it's going to put a bigger target on Caitlin,
yeah,
while she's playing in the WNBA. But if you look for the overall picture, and she goes out there, she plays how she's been playing. She plays pretty decent in the Olympics. It's going to elevate the WNBA like no other tomorrow, because she is the WNBA right now. LeBron James. She's bringing all the attention. She's the reason why they're selling out a lot of games, because people want to see her play.
No,
not saying the basketball's not good.
I'm a fan. Listen, again,
Yeah.
I said before, I was even late coming here because I was watching them beat the Mystics, right? 88-81 was the score there. But
so why would you take the player with the most, getting the most juice right now, the most hyped up player that's in the league? Why wouldn't you take her and have her represent the country? Fair or unfair? We're not talking about fair or unfair. If there's somebody better, I'm pretty sure they might be someone that consider someone a better.
Yeah, life ain't fair.
But at the end of the day, it's business.
That's there's the aspect of it right there, because I can see right now the Angel Reeses of the world. I don't mean to call folks out, but Angel is already being out there saying that she's saying other folks get special calls or don't get special calls because of who they are, or y'all are watching the WNBA not just because of her, but she's saying specifically because of me. Angel, some of your play ain't up to. Okay, I'm not gonna call nobody.
But see, she can't caught up in her feelings, man. The thing is, we need to be elevated, elevate the game to new heights. Which, unfortunately, I don't say it's unfortunate. It's Caitlin Clark is the face. She's the face of it right now. Even with her struggles and her successes, she's the face. So, me personally, why would you not put the face of the WNBA, the hottest ticket in the game right now, Why would you put her on the team when you have an opportunity to put her on the team? You already pissed off all the fans when you didn't do it the first time. Now you have an opportunity to correct it. Why wouldn't you correct it and say, look, we're going to market the mess out of this to boast our brand like no other? Because this is a business decision, not a basketball decision. This is a business decision to keep her on the team, not necessarily a basketball decision. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to make a business decision for your teams instead of that sports decision in order to make sure it's the greater good for everybody. Period.
Boy, that
That's
right
what
there,
it is.
that's another mathing statement right there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I don't care if people agree with it or disagree with it. The bottom line the best thing for the WNBA to do is to put her on the team. And then the second thing is for them to win. Now, when they win it all, it's going to be all great.
Man, listen, don't let them win. Good gracious, don't let them get on the podium. From a business perspective, I do agree with that. I honestly, and I, again, third person looking in, here we are, commentators, analysts, talking about this, Monday morning quarterbacks, whatever you want to call us. I being removed as I am, as we are, I think she's mature enough already to be able to deal with all the smoke that would come should she now get that call. Here's your number 22. You going to Paris to represent. She's going to get more hard fouls. She's going to get more harsh commentary from the low-level haters, though. From the low-level haters. But, the folks that, again, look at this as a business transaction. And we're not going there just for a vacation. We're not going there for bronze. We're not even going there for silver. Or we going for gold. Yep. And if that's the best opportunity for this country to have a winning squad, I'm going to watch anyway. Listen, I'm going to watch anyway.
I'm not tuning in regardless of if she's there or not. But imagine if she's there. And please, if she has some success while she's there, oh my goodness. It's going to be, she's going to become an international superstar for women's basketball. I mean, not that she already is it, but she's even going to be bigger. Yeah. I'm just saying, man, at some point, you got to you have to make a business decision in sports. And she's right now the face. And I love all the other girls that are playing that are great. I already told you, I thought Juju should be the one that gets an opportunity to play on it if it wasn't her. But if Juju's not going to get the opportunity to play, then I think you take Caitlin for that business decision to make sure, hey, we got somebody who's going to be strong here. She's going to bring in a bunch of fans to sell them out and whatever. And if I was the Olympic Committee, I'd be calling the USA team right now, but like, can you guys please put Caitlin Clark on the team?
Can you put me in touch with her people?
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if Caitlin's playing on that game, not saying that it's not going to sell out, but I'm telling you right now, if Caitlin's on that team, it's going to sell out. She has a sellout factor. I think they said she's played at more sold-out arenas at the WNBA player than anyone has.
Yeah,
and she's already been winning.
She's the truth. Yeah, she the truth. And I mean, you can like it or not, but yeah, she the truth.
So I mean, Angel Reese and all them, I understand what they're saying. They feel they're stars too and all that. But I mean, in the words of like Snoop and them, some people just got it. They got that it factor. And when they got that it factor, you have to be able to ride. You have to ride it in order to be successful. And I'm a quote. And the reason why I'm quoting Snoop, and I ain't really quoting him, but I remember him saying that, hey, I remember when I was a rapper and I'm coming up, and I had my fellow rappers that are part of his crew, Corrupt and all them, who are very talented MCs as well. He was like, but Dre said I was the one. I'm the one. Whether I had the best lyrics or not, I'm the one. I got that. I got a factor about me, a star quality that I got it.
Yeah.
Caitlin has it. I don't know what that it is, but she has it. She's a star. She got a
little extra. Okay, we don't have to go into it deep, but she's got a little extra swag about her that just that it seems like she shouldn't have it, but she's got it, but she can back it up, right? And again, I'm in agreement with you on this. I'm actually in agreement with you on this. That I think she would be an amazing choice on that squad. And I would be DVR, and I almost said TiVo. I almost dated myself right there. But I will be recording every single one of those episodes of those games just to see mainly the attendance, because you're right. They're selling out the up in Indiana. They're selling out everywhere they go. They're relocating all the games that they play at because more folks are coming to check out the game. It's interesting.
So with that just being said, you just said it. with that being said, and Dan mentioned it too, can you imagine the jersey sales that would come out of that for young ladies? You know, what man, dude, it's just the proper business move from the WNBA or the selection committee of the Olympic team. It's a proper business move, and I think. But see, also, no one comes out and explain it like we should explain it. They're all wanting to, oh, she shouldn't deserve it. No, from a business standpoint, by every means she deserves it. I mean, every means you can, every check you
Let her carry the flag out too. Good. Well, hold on, she ain't that good.
By every means, she deserves it. And I mean, me personally, I'm a person that will always point the elephant in the room about race. Always. Mm-hmm. We got to ignore the fact that she's white, and I know people hate on her because she's white. She's white. She's a white girl that can play basketball, period, from Iowa. She's a baller, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
She's a baller. And I know people get mad that she gets all that treatment because she's white. No, she gets that treatment because she can ball. Just like people before didn't appreciate Larry Bird, right? Oh, he's just a white boy that can shoot. But now coming out later, now that white boy is probably one of the baddest white boys. He's the baddest basketball players ever to play.
That boy got some gumbo in him. That boy got some gumbo.
We kind of got to get out of that frame. And I know that frame is what we kind of go to, but we got to kind of get out of that frame, especially when we're talking about business. Like Angie Reese, which I think she's talented, she's wonderful, but if she got selected, she shouldn't say anything because it's the greater good for the game. It's going to be a greater good for the brand of WNBA. It's going to sell out. It's going to bring more attention to your sport, so more people come watch you play and watch you guys get down and watch your rivalry even more so. And at the end of the day, you know what that means? That means more money for you. At the end of the day, she's got that factor, and why not ride it while it's hot? I would select her. I would absolutely select her to be a part of the team, and say we think she's going to be a great fit. And I would also say it. She's going to be a great fit because for the business of the WNBA, we couldn't pick no one better.
For the business of the WNBA, and put a marker in it right now, folks. Again, I see all y'all watching on YouTube and on Twitter right now. We said that before as well. The value of the game from the WNBA, the attraction of the game, the fundamentals of the game. And now it's all coming to fruition. And now the conversation that has led Team No Sleep probably for the last 10, 15 minutes is, should Caitlin Clark be invited to participate in the games and represent the United States of America?
We need that poll, man. We need to put that poll out.
Oh, give me 2 hours. We going. Yeah. I'm going to the gym tonight after this. But when I come back tonight, we gonna have some micro content going out to all the. You see how I tag ESPN and everybody else last week. Listen, I'm gonna tag them all tonight. Let me take a look at these comments, because I want to stay on this Olympic thing, but I want to go down a darker path. Unfortunately, but I want to stay. Let me look at this. See, so Dan Roth in here talking about, this is the plot of the Captain America. Shirley P saying Wheaties box bonanza for a chick like Caitlin. Would you want your child given a sport because she is popular or because she has earned it? Oh, would you want your child given a spot because she is popular or because she earned it?
I want it both. It would be different if she couldn't ball.
Yeah.
If she couldn't play, then I'd be like, nah, she's just popular because she's pretty. That's why she's on the court.
Yeah.
Nah, and she's not very good. The difference is Caitlin can actually play.
Yeah.
She can ball out. So that's the difference. And I want my daughter to earn it. If you ask me that question personally, I don't want her to earn it. But hey man, sometimes you gotta use what you got, right?
Yeah.
If that popular kind of gets you on to take you to that next level, then I think sometimes you got to take those advantages in the real world to get to the spot you want to be in. But for her, I think she's more than capable. She's more than qualified to be a part of the team.
I concur in this particular situation. So yeah, that is that for sure. Appreciate you though, Dan. Man, keep bringing in that heat though, man. You keeping us on our toes. We love it. Looking at some of the other sports, of course, we got basketball. We got breaking. I'll be watching my breaking.
Man, man.
Listen, I'm gonna have my old Africa Bambaataa playing. Dog. My old, Electric
That's
Kingdom.
ABCD or whatever. That's That's what we used to watch the Jabberwockies and stuff on, man. That ain't that's not no. I mean, no, that's cool. That's a competition, but I don't know, man.
We'll
I
we'll
think,
see. We'll see. Well, you know, I'm an old head, so we'll see. I'm gonna judge it myself, and if it's not to the beat street or breaking, you know, to that level, if it's not to that perspective, then
I mean,
I'm
but is it actually breaking or is it actually pop? Is it or a combination of both? Can you break and pop at the same time, or is it
I,
choreographed just dance routine? That's the part I'm not.
yeah, that's true. It better not be none of those just still little dances, right? None of them TikTok dances. I don't want none of that. I'm thinking that this is gonna be a little bit of both. I think this gonna be
And
some,
who I
boy.
mean,
Don't let
and
me hit
who
a move on you, right? No, okay.
now my question is like, how do we judge it? Like, oh, he hit a knee spin. That was, I mean, I don't even know how you would judge this in order for an Olympic competition. Like, we could judge it, obviously, judging on the corner and judging in an arena like this or spectators that is completely different, right? Judging on the corner, your crew gonna be there screaming out who won
Boy,
and all that.
listen.
This is gonna be a little
I'm gonna
bit different.
find my old Baby Rude jacket from the Rude Boys. Okay, we flash it back. See, y'all in the comments are messing with
Nah,
me. As
man. Hey,
Chris,
me and Kev used to dance too. We was too damn funky.
I
So
know you
I,
were.
I know. I know. We was all in there. So I know exactly where we was going with it. So I just don't get it, man. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's starting to get worldwide recognition, especially I know it was always recognized over in Asia, like Japan and all those. They really like recognize the culture. But I just don't know if this is a competition. I might have to I'm gonna watch a little bit of it, but I don't know how it's gonna pan out, man. I really don't.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And Marvin, no, it's not okay. Again, I don't want the smoke. The cheerleading, I'm not gonna be watching it.
Is
Not
that a
gonna be
sport?
watching. I,
Cheerleading is a sport?
don't do it, dude. Don't open that Pandora's box. Don't
I'm
do it.
asking the question, is it a sport on the
Oh,
Olympics?
it is
Is it?
sport in the Olympics. Okay. Oh man, you see, you asking for it. It better not be because no, it's not. Okay, good. See, again, you gonna make
Okay.
don't make me say no. It's great coordinated athletics and yes, athletics, but it's not a worldwide. Okay, let me stop.
I'm just
Uh,
wait, before we move on,
yeah,
what's the difference between going ballroom dancing and breaking? How come ballroom dancing ain't in the Olympics then?
I mean, I don't listen. No. Give us our let us have these moments of excitement while we can, right? Let us have this. Don't
I'm
take it
just
away before we even start. We got
I'm just
36
asking a
days
question,
before it
man.
starts,
I'm
and you
just asking
throwing
the
dirt on
question.
it. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
throwing dirt on it. I think it's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's generalized as it should be an Olympic sport. That's just my opinion.
Okay, we'll see. All right, so that was the good. Here comes some of the bad and some of the ugly. And again, I was going through some of our catalog, and
Okay.
y'all better recognize Team No Sleep got a nice catalog. So if you haven't subscribed to the new channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Team No Sleep Podcast. Um, we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. We talked about this. This is one of those conversations like NIL. We talked about it day zero. We talked about it the night the transfer portal opened, that this was going to be a huge thing just on that topic.
Yep.
And then I kept harping on this because we were going down this road talking about equity in women's sports, making sure that, again, if you're born one way, right, we can go into a whole different conversation about that if we want to at another time or even at this time, whatever the case may be. But Leah Thomas has been in the news. Transgender athlete, born female, gone through hormonal therapy, gone through a lot of the steps to be recognized as a female. She's now swimming on the women's team and now killing folks. I shouldn't say the word. Beating folks. Right, was losing on the men's side, but was not even nowhere near the stat sheet. Right, was just horrible. But now she's in the women's locker room. Now that she's on that side, she's winning. But the conversation and the controversy now is, of course, Leah Thomas wants to represent the United States in Paris at the Olympics. That makes sense. However, however, she's had some legal issues and trying to get it past the legal courts and trying to get it across the worldwide organizations that manage and run the Olympics. her battle has currently been stalled, meaning she's lost her legal fight to participate in the Olympics on the women's swimming team. Let me ask you about this, because this just came down late last Wednesday. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas lost a legal battle Wednesday, challenging an effective ban on trans women competing in the highest levels of women's swimming, dashing her hopes of making the Summer Olympics in Paris next month. Just from that headline statement right there, your thoughts, based on all the conversations about this topic that we've had.
I agree with the decision. I hate to say it, but I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As much as women have worked so hard to get to that point, and that they worked all their lives to do that, and for someone that was, like I said, we always talk about being born a biological male has a different kind of DNA makeup to have an unfair advantage, to come in now, take away the shine from one of those women that have been working all their lives to get to that point. I think that part's unfair. No one wants to ever talk about that. That's unfair to those women. I mean, yeah, it's unfair to Leah too that she doesn't get the chance to compete, but it's not fair to those women that she took their spot by, changing over and swimming over with women instead of competing with her natural biological birth. And this has nothing to do with what you identify with. It has to do with your makeup. You were a male turned to a female. That's science. We know that for a fact. Those are facts. What you identify with is completely different. So with that being said, I agree with the decision. I feel sorry for Leah. I mean, I think she's worked hard to get where she's at, and she's done everything. But unfortunately, you have an unfair advantage. You do, and if you compared your times to the male times of your original genetic, her times wouldn't even make the top. I don't even think would make the top 15 or 10. So it's not fair. It's not fair to women. And I don't have the right or wrong answer. I feel sorry for Leah, but I would feel sorry for that person that didn't get a chance to swim, to work their butts off to compete and get strong and do the things they needed to do, and lose out on the opportunity because Leah would get it. So
Yeah.
it's not a good decision, but it's a decision that had to be made, unfortunately.
So right there, and I think I'm gonna tail off of what you just said. You may not have the right decision, but the fact is, again, we brought this up, and I think a lot of folks wanted this to just sweep under the rug and not be elevated to a conversation that has to be dealt with. Here it is now, 30 days away. This is the first real situation where we've seen stories of athletes participating and either winning or losing or just being on the same court, field, event as biological men and or women, and the response from fans, right? So just think about what we talked about last week, those runners, especially over at Oregon State, being booed for even participating and being booed for winning in women's races and things of that nature. So I mean, just that fan perspective. But now again, here we are with probably the loudest ruling before the Olympic Games start, because Leah Thomas has been in the news just for the procedures that she's gone through, but now raising the level of conversation and wanting to participate at the highest level and in the most global level, and now being denied that because of who she now identifies as. Again, I think a lot of folks probably wanted this conversation to blow away and not actually materialize, but we told y'all. This gonna be big news. This gonna be big news.
It's the uncomfortable conversation, right? It's the uncomfortable conversation that people. Let's be honest with you. People can't speak their mind or their true feelings, right? Because they feel they'll be ostracized. But they say what they truly feel, whatever it be, negative or positive. They feel they'll be ostracized when they speak their opinion. I just think, and I'll be the first one. I feel sorry for Leah, but I think it was the right decision from a sports perspective. I really do. Until we come up with an alternative, right? We talked about it before. Until they come up with an alternative where maybe there's a transgender competition or something like that, maybe then it will fit. But I mean, it's not fair to the young women. It's not fair to the young women that trained all those lives to get to that point and for it to be taken away by Leah Thomas. And it's not fair to Leah Thomas that she's not having the ability to compete. There's no win. in that decision at all. But unfortunately, in decisions, there's always have to be a winner and a losers in the decision. And I think that was the decision to make right now until we figure all this out. We got to figure this all out. But we've seen, and I say, and the thing is crazy, we've seen it when we've seen born biological men transgender to women's sports. We've seen a lot of success and unfair advantage. We've seen it. We've seen it going. We, like you said, we just recently saw it in Oregon in their high school track meet, state meet, and we saw it in Washington State meet as well, where there were two biological men that they identify as women that competed, and they won these events handily. So there is, I believe there is a physical disadvantage or advantage when you do that. I really do, and that's unfair. That's just like taking drugs, taking steroids, and taking all these things. I think it's unfair. And when we're dealing in the internet in international competition, things are supposed to be even. Why we do this? Why we do the Olympics? I don't know the right answer, man. I really don't. I don't know the right answer. I feel comfortable with that one. And I know ESPN and them won't talk about it because of whatever reason.
No,
they're scared to talk about it. Yeah, they scared to talk about it. But I do believe this is an uncomfortable conversation that people need to have, just how they feel, especially if you have a young daughter competing in sports, right? If you have a young daughter just competing in high school or college sports, how would you feel? And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be very honest with yourself. How would you feel if that happened? Your daughters worked so hard, worked their butt off to be, one of the top people or one of the participants in this event. And then a person that was born a biological male, that says now they identify with a female, comes in and just races away everything that she's done, as far as her success has been concerned, because she can't beat that person. Not that she can't work her way up to there, but she's genetically made up different.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about science and all that stuff. It's just a different makeup. You got to ask yourself how you would feel about that. And me personally, if that was my daughter competing for that fourth spot or one of those spots, and Leah Thomas took it away from my daughter, I would be highly upset and disappointed.
Yeah,
I absolutely would.
Yeah.
Not because she beat my daughter, not because of that. It's because I think she had an unfair advantage, being born a male and having a male bone structure and a male muscle, developing male muscles and all those different things. I think she had an unfair advantage, and she was able to beat my daughter. That's me just being perfectly honest. And I'm not transphobic or anything like that. I'm just being honest as a parent how I would feel.
No,
if you don't like me because of that, then you just don't like me.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And you and I, listen, we tight and we close, and I'm gonna say this online as well. Appreciate both of us for being vulnerable and being transparent in how we feel again about this uncomfortable, maybe dividing conversation. But again, we got to have this conversation. I got it on the screen here, kind of to answer one of Shirley's questions. She was saying, is it ever foreseeable that Olympic Committee would have an alternate classification for these athletes? And you see here on the screen, under rules established in 2022, World Aquatics banned transgender women who have been through male puberty from competing in women's races. It also created a quote unquote open category for which trans athletes would be eligible. Now, that's 2 hours in and of itself in terms of a conversation that we have. We aren't the experts on that. I'm gonna take the action item. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some research, some more, to find out. So we know how the United States is dealing with this, but all the other countries that are participating in the Olympics, I would love to see if there's some stories that are rising to the surface of how they're dealing with this as well. Because again, this isn't just a 707 or 916 or East Coast or West Coast conversation, right? This is a global conversation. This is societal humans conversation. So I'm gonna do some research in the 30 days and the 4 episodes that we have until the Olympics start. Well, I am counting down, right? We're gonna have some more conversation on this to see what's going on. So
I'm interested to see how she combats this, right? What does she do to combat this, and if she tries to, I know it's already been decided, but if they publicize it or do what, I'm not quite sure how they're going to go. What's the next move? What Leah Thomas and her team's next move, legal wise, to figure out what's going to happen? It's like I said, man. There's no way. I feel bad on both sides.
Crazy, man. Man, this is real conversation right here. Well, wait till we have We ain't gonna do political debates on this channel, but man, goodness gracious, we get into them. Dan over there with some humor. I love it, man. Well, oh my gosh, appreciate y'all. There were two other stories, but I think I don't know. Maybe we'll follow.
She agrees with Dan. What did Shara say? She agrees with Dan. She said, "Whoa, thanks, James. I agree with Dan." What did Dan say?
Well, Dan was being funny. Well, I don't know if he was saying. I was saying we were being transparent about our conversation, and Dan says, "You're being trans about this, James." He like that heckler in the back of the comedy club. He the one.
Yeah,
that
he
you
gonna
want
get
security
he
to
get
throw
every
out.
ounce out of you.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. He the one that you want security to throw out. I was gonna talk about a recap of a story that we did about Shiloh, but
Okay.
it's a bigger conversation, and maybe we'll hold this till next time because there's some follow up to some other athletes that are having with this as well. Because Shiloh, y'all know, filed bankruptcy due to that altercation that he had with someone, I believe, at a club. Judge said, "Listen, man, Shiloh, you got money. You can't hide you can't hide this money, but you got this money and you're gonna have to pay this dude for what you did to him." And this whole thing of, so like Shiloh, and I know Antonio Brown was just on the pivot not too long ago, and he was talking to them about, now he's filed bankruptcy, and again, Antonio Brown for a minute he was wide receiver number one.
Yeah, he made millions and millions of dollars. Yeah.
Antonio Brown is up for the Hall of Fame soon in a couple of years. And again, right? And just seeing, unfortunately, his downfall, his trajectory that he's gone through since he took all his clothes off and walked off of the field.
I mean, Antonio Brown's spiraled out of control. I don't know if it's mental. We always talk about mental health. I don't know if it's a mental health issue or what happened, but he spiraled out of control. From the time he took his shirt off to him exposing Tom Brady and his marital situations and all that stuff. To just being that guy, man. After a lot of people vouch for him and all that stuff, then going, just the things he was doing with his money and out there. Now he's in this situation. I don't know. I mean, it's actually sad, man. It's actually sad that, like we always talk about, where's your circle at to protect the bag? Where's that person in the circle to pull him back and say, yo, man, you're going too far with this. You need to pull back and calm down. Where's that person saying, hey, you're down to your last $5 million. You need to go ahead and put $3 million away in this account so you can make sure you live off $180,000 a year, which is better than most people live in their lifetime. Where's that circle at?
Yeah, because hanging out with, listen, and if y'all want to, we can talk about Kanye all we want to, because we had that conversation too. Hanging out with Kanye is not the best thing for you. Right?
Kanye got billions. You got millions. Kanye got billions.
Truth.
Kanye got billions.
But trying to follow the lead of a Kanye West, and then all of the. Okay, again, we can go down that rabbit hole as well. But the numbers are different. That's true. There's more zeros and there's more commas on Mr. West side. But I think Antonio is trying to be like Kanye because he's so tight within that circle, and the numbers even are dramatically different. Antonio Brown only owes $3 million to eight different creditors. Shiloh, what was it, $11 million that he filed for? $11.89 million. Yeah. Good God Almighty! How does this young cat amass $11.89 million?
Supposedly $11 million point of debt. That doesn't make any sense. And like I said, you can't run, Shiloh, because you just bought your daddy a house in Colorado. That says it all right there. You just bought your daddy a big old house in Colorado, celebrating your NIL deal and all this stuff. Now you gonna for bankruptcy all of a sudden? And
filming the whole thing. Hey, we on social media. Hey, check out Daddy's new crib that we just bought him. Don't do that. when you got a pending case.
This just proves our point that we talked about in the other show. Financial literacy for these kids that are getting NIL deals. They need to be certified every year in financial literacy if they're going to go to the Division I school and receive NIL money. I don't care if it's $5 to $5 million. They need to go to financial literacy and get certified. I know, Dan, you out there. I know Charles Schwab, J.P. Morgan. Somebody can put together a curriculum. Yeah, they can put down a curriculum and then they go out there during the summertime while these kids, because they all got to report during the summer, especially football, got to report during the summer. You got to complete this 3 or 4 weeks course of financial literacy as part of your curriculum that you have to take and pass it before we start collecting these checks. Because the bottom line, we're tired of seeing all these young guys getting in these situations and losing millions and millions of dollars after 3 or 4 years, if not less. So I think if NCAA wants to have some responsibility of it, and they already let the rabbit out of the hole, they can't do nothing about it now. They open Pandora's box. But what you can do is fix it, kind of fix it a little bit, and require these kids to take financial literacy certifications every year and get them okay and get them right. And make them understand, hey, you get this $1 million, this is what happens. Uncle Sam's going to take this much. You spend this much money, this is what's going to happen. Break down the whole month. So at the end of the day, when you get this $1 million, this is what you left with. And let them kids have a better understanding, especially we know us African-American males that come from these urban neighborhoods, we don't have the understanding of what it goes into that. We only know what we see as perceived success. We know flashy cars, nice gold chains, and hanging out with the people at the club, right? That's what we see. That's what we see in the video. That's what we think success is. I think they need to be able to teach them on an educational basis. If you're going to be in a school, you have to be certified. So we can show them a different picture of what success is. Show them how to invest their money. Show them how to hold on to their money. That would be something that the NCAA needs to come up with.
It's funny you say that because I'm literally looking at the listing of some of the assets for Shiloh, and one of them is his $76,000 2023 Mercedes GLE.
Yep,
that's a dope car. Okay.
But now when he drove it up, but does he understand when he drove it off the lot, he paid $76,000 for it, and right when he drove it off the lot, it went down to $50,000.
Yep.
You lost $20,000 depreciation when you put the keys in and took it off the lot.
Just like that. So as soon as those front tires cross the lot.
Yep. So is that a good investment for you as a young man? No, it's not, especially not right now. So in order to save yourself, $25,000, maybe you ought to think about buying the 2021 G-Wagon, Mercedes, whatever you got. It may be a little bit older, but it has all the bells and whistles you need, and you're only gonna pay $35,000.
There you go. Cut the springs and lower it. Put an Alpine in it. Put a wrapper. Listen, we can do something. Okay, my first car was a 78 Volkswagen Scirocco. We can do these things.
But the crazy part about that, you're Deion Sanders' son. I would think you have more financial literacy than the average bear. You would know better. You would know. You think you would know better. You would think you would consult with your father. Maybe not on every decision, but you would consult with your father and say, Dad, I'm thinking about buying this. What do you think about that? I would think Deion would say, maybe you ought to hold off on our baby. Consult with my business, my financial manager. Consult with him to see if that would be a better investment and to make a sound decision based on it. You would think that's what he would have instead of spending money just out.
And you know what? And I'm sitting. I apologize for cutting you off. And you know what? I know they do, right? Because you think about it, and I can only think of 3 off the top of my head when I inappropriately just cut you off just now. But the Sanders family, the James family, Tiger Woods' son, right here. You see it going across the ticket right now about Tiger Woods' son Charlie qualifying in the U.S. Olympic. These are 3. Well, Deion ain't a billionaire, but LeBron and Tiger are both billionaires. 2 black men with a lot of money, a lot of stuff going on. There's folks in their camp that are making sure that their youngsters, their immediate family are looked after.
Yep.
And
they are taken care of.
This is just hard,
and they're well versed.
Yeah.
And they're well versed in money. They should be well versed in money. How it works, how it doesn't work, how you spend it, how you're not supposed to spend it, what's a great investment, what's not a great investment. So I'm not buying Shiloh's thing, Shiloh by any means. You're in a hole for $11 million. I don't know how you got there, but you should be able to file for bankruptcy. It should be denied. You need to figure out a way to get yourself out of it. But I'm saying the bigger picture is the NCAA needs to step in and they need to become financially certified in how to hold on to their money. Period. It should be on the responsibility of the university to teach a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old.
Yep.
It shouldn't be on a 29. You shouldn't say, hey, he needs to figure it out on his own. That's BS. Because if that was their child, they wouldn't let them figure it out on their own. If your child was 17 years old and came into millions of dollars, would you let them spend the millions of dollars? Would you say, oh, God, you can spend it any way you want?
No, man. No,
No,
we closer than that. We have more conversations than that, especially
exactly.
especially when it
So
comes to
so so
literacy.
so so say you coming from a small town in Georgia. You go to University of Georgia. You about to get this $5 million deal. This kid ain't really never had nothing in his life. You give him a $5 million and you say, okay, figure it out. Well, he thinks he has $5 million. He doesn't know he only has 3 because Uncle Sam just took his 40% right off the top. So he's spending off of $5 million. He thinks he got $5 million. After that, he's got to pay. I'm sure he has lawyers and all that stuff he has to get involved with because they just ain't cutting him a $3 million check. So he has all this, and then at that point, you have all kind of people coming at you about all different other things, giving you all kind of unnecessary advice, all these things. Some of them may be good, some of them may be bad, but you need to be able to be, I think, certified to say, okay, let me decipher what they're saying, or at least make you knowledgeable about what's going on, so you can have the power of know to make a sound decision. It's hard to fall. Casalo's what, 20 years old? He's 20 years old, right? 20, 21 years old.
Yeah,
So,
I believe so. Yes.
so if he's 21 years old, he bought a $76,000 car when he was 20. How many 20 years old, even Deion Sanders' family, how many 20 years old do you know that really got some financial sense? They just gonna buy what they think looks good and what's hot.
Buy
He
you a
ain't worried
Honda
about no
Civic and be
gas. He
good
ain't
with
worried about nothing. He's just gonna buy it the line because he
it.
got some money in his hand, right? So I'm just saying, I think there's need, and Deion should be the first one. Matter of fact, chop this up. Deion should be the first person to implement financial literacy certified for all of his players. They should have to take a summer course class, about a 3 weeks class, add it to the curriculum they take over the summer, and they need to pass the test at the end before they can receive any NIL money to show them how to manage their money that they get from NIL. I don't think that's too much to ask of a student athlete. If he's asking to get paid, then you need to become certified. Deion should be the first one to implement it.
What you got, Coach? What you got, Coach? Balls in your court, brother.
Yep.
That's a good point, and we gonna follow up on that. We gonna keep this. We gonna bring this plane in. But I when you were talking about that, I even thought about this as well. When Dan brought up this comment about some athletes wearing custom shoes and doing things with celebrations, throwing the ball in the stands or whatever, and getting a fine for all that, but. So they know that that's happening. They know they're gonna get a fine. Travis Kelce throws football in the stands. He know he's gonna get hit with $10,000 or $15,000 with a fine or whatever the case may be. But
Yep.
speaking back to football, just thinking about that because we're talking about these two football players. They know as well that game check. And see, fans may not realize this. That game check when you travel to a different state. That game check not only not only Social Security, not only tax, but state tax from the
It's different
location
in
that
every
you
state.
playing. Before
Yep.
you get your money, you got to pay this. You got to pay to play.
Yep.
When you fly off to Atlanta or when you fly off to Washington or California, when you come to California and New York, we gonna get our money first out of your game check every single week. So
Yep.
your lucrative $8 million deal contract that you got, you score a touchdown, boom, you throw the ball into the stands. Well, heck, go 15,000 out of that because you wanted to do that. But when you get through with the game before you get your check, California then already took their money out as well. See, I don't think fans understand that, but the players know that, and just the common sense piece of
But
literacy
I think
with
they
your
know
money.
it. I think they know it, but they don't understand how it all works.
Man.
Right? I think they know, like, okay, I'm gonna get taxed on there. Okay, no big deal. You got to think though, when you every Tuesday when you collecting a check for $35,000, and you know it's gonna be that, and I'm talking small numbers. I am talking small numbers. You get a check for $35,000 every Tuesday. Hey man, I'll go to California. Okay, this week I only got why I only get 25,000? Oh, because okay, whatever. Because the next check is gonna be for 35,000. So they look over that. They kind of just keep it going and keep it over because so much money's coming in. I get it. When the money's coming in, everything's good. I'm sure for Antonio Brown, when the money's coming in, everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
But when the money stops, when your career is over and you stop playing, now where the money is. We have more broke millionaires that used to play in the NFL. Broke. How is that possible? In the information age we have today, how are they broke?
Somebody make it plain.
How is the greatest D lineman One of the greatest D linemen, Warren Sapp, claiming that he doesn't have the money. How one of the greatest running back, Curtis Portis, claims he was going to kill his business manager because he lost all of his money? How is Terrell Owens, one of the greatest receivers, been taken advantage of several times to be broke? And I'm not talking about broke in the sense where they have no money. I'm saying they're broke in the sense they don't have the money they should have.
Yeah.
How are we in that situation? That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. When these guys are making that kind of money, multi-million-dollar deals, where they have unlimited resources at their ability, whether they have to pay for the resources to teach them or they have those resources and they still become broke. How is that possible? And now we said, okay, forget when you become 21, you become a millionaire 22. We're going to make guys become millionaires when they become 17. Oh, 17 years old. Okay. So you mean to tell me a 17-year-old can manage millions of dollars? The average 17-year-old cannot. Shit, the average 50-year-old cannot. Messing with a 17-year-old. And the fact that we're putting all these kids into situations, we're giving them NIL deals, it's legal now. They're giving them all this money. And we're reading about every day, kids getting $9 million, kids getting $8 million. They're getting all this money. Who is teaching them how to manage it? Who's teaching them how to hold on to it? And the cold part, the university is saying, oh, it's not us. It's not our job. Bull, that is your job. Bull is a football coach, basketball coach, baseball coach. That is your job. Your job is you want to protect your players. This is one of the best ways to protect your players financially. Provide them to get certified and make it a requirement in your organization, your team. Because now the time, if they do make it to the pros, guess what? They already know how to manage their money. Or they at least have been educated to manage their money. And if they don't make it, they know how to hold on to the little bit of money they got to be successful for the rest of their life. Or at least have a nest egg in when they're finished playing college ball. I don't understand why no one's doing it. I really don't. And I think Coach Prime should be the first one. If he wants to be the trendsetter in all these other ways and talk about how he does everything different and all this, then let's do this different. I'm going to teach my kids not only to get the money, but I'm going to teach them how to hold on to the money.
He's always talking about looking good, feeling good, playing good, and talking about paying good. Okay, if they paying good, let's talk about how you can keep that money too, boy.
Continue to have to be good. So I think if he's the first one to do it, I think it'll set the trend.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's other schools that's doing it, kudos to those schools, but I haven't heard any school that's doing that yet. I wish they would. I wish they would step up and do those types of things. It only makes sense. And you as a football coach can make those requirements of your players. You can make that requirement. Say, hey, no, you got to take this class. I don't care if it counts towards your degree or not. You got to take this class and pass it and be certified. And we're going to pay out of our football budget someone from J.P. Morgan and any of those institutions to come in and teach you. And at the end of the 3 weeks, you're going to take a test. And if you fail the test, guess what? You're not getting NIL money till you pass this test.
I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be the next thing. I think this is going to be the next pivotal conversation. Right, we've talked about transfer portal. We talked about NIL at the beginning. We talked about transgender athletes, and we talked about the Olympics. We talked about a lot of stuff, and now NIL is aged enough that now we're starting to see again those 16, 17, 8, those younger kids, younger athletes getting that money for bagging them groceries at the Piggly Wiggly, and now saying that okay. I mean, we've seen a couple of athletes that say, I don't even want to go pro. I want to go and use this last year of eligibility in college because I can make more money on my NIL deal than I can and on my rookie contract. But that financial literacy, I really think so. Let's mark this right now in our head as well. Just that I think we've hit on something that is going to be more and more of a popular, unpopular conversation as athletes go to Shiloh route. Go to Antonio Brown route. Unfortunately, right? Go out there and buy the new Mercedes. Go out there and buy. Look, I want to buy mom and daddy a house too, but go out and buy this house. But I want to put some of this money away. And how to do that? I mean, it's not something that's intuitive. I think for a lot of folks, yes, you need to learn how to do that. You need to learn about compounding interest. You need to learn all of those aspects of literacy.
I think Shiloh's the only one that we know about because he's a high profile. But I bet you there's probably other college athletes that's already filed bankruptcy as well that we just haven't heard about or talked about. Maybe if there's a website or something that states that, I would like to find that information. But I don't believe he's the only one. I think a lot of these people get over their head financially.
Yeah.
And as a young person, it's very easy because you want a lot of materialistic things. I believe that, like I said, it should be the universities, and if not the university, it needs to be the athletic department's responsibility to teach these young athletes, since they represent the school and make you so much money. Let's teach them how to hold on to some of it once they graduate or once they leave your university. Let's show them how to hold on to it, how to keep it, how to either invest in it or how to save it, so they'll have a little something after they're finished playing, and not that we just hear these stories, right? We don't hear these war stories. Oh man, I had so much money, I had this. No, I want to hear about him. You know what? I was able to open a business and hire my friends and do this, and it started with my money. It should be different conversations we have, because now, man, we've been in the game. The information age has been around too long. There's too much information out there that is able to assist us and help us be successful. You just got to cipher through it. And I think when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, the university should help you guide, at least give you the pieces of the puzzle to be able to have the power of no.
I'm just purposely letting that, boy, I'm letting that marinate right there, or letting that rest. Let that ooh. We don't have to say no more. We gonna bring this plane in right there, because you done already took him to church, and the doors of the church are open. The communion plates are passing around. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. We gonna stay on this stuff for us, because this is real. This is real important news. This is real important news. Yeah, I know there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world too, but this really touches what we started off with the Willie Mays situation, right? Against sports, resonating to personal life as well, and just longevity and how you deal with folks, how you deal with yourself, and how you manage your money. Because you may say you're not driven by money, but money is kind of a key component to a lot of what we do in on this planet. And if you are owed $4 million, and you don't know how that is being distributed and dispersed, and you go out there and buy every new whip that's out there. All right, Montell, take us home, brother. I'm tired.
No, I think everybody should just definitely. I saw an acronym the other day. It's called ASK. It's ask the people that are around you. You know, see what's going on with the people around you, and have knowledge of the people that's around you. You know, and I think that leads us right to our always saying, please, everyone out there, get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, because that's how we learn.
We did it, y'all. We out. See y'all next week.
Montell and James, bringing the heat, team no sleep, with champions meet. We're on the mic, taking over the game, no time for wrestlers, we're in it for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field. All around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the mic, bringing news, real stories on the fly. Montell's got the stats, James got the flow. Together we're two and ready to blow. From NBA to NFL and the MLB.